Warm welcome to this CrossYoga flow class. My name is Ria, and today I'll guide you through a class with the theme, Why Jesus? I'm going to share some of my personal experiences and my why Jesus. Now, a block would be great to have today. You might not need it, but it's always nice to spice up your practice if you're used to doing yoga, also with a block. Find your seat on the mat and then close your eyes. I'm going to talk a little bit in the beginning, but first we need to settle down, calm our breath and all of that. So let your hands rest on the thighs or knees, whatever is nice. Soften your eyes or your gaze if you prefer to have your eyes open. Move around until you find that place where you can sit still for a moment without fidgeting with things, fingers, or anything. And make yourself aware of the sitting on the mat. And with that I mean that now you're about to do yoga. If you believe in God, you are about to listen and tune in to what God has to say. But before we listen, you might need to say something to God or to whatever is bigger than yourself. Maybe you need to explain how you're doing right now. So try to tell God, how are you doing right now? And know that whatever you're sitting with, good or bad, nothing is a secret to God, and nothing is too shameful for God to see or not to carry. God is with us, loving us through grace. So you can be free. No guilt. No shame, no body shame. And as a symbol of this freedom, you might inhale deeply and then exhale out through your mouth. And maybe send a smile to yourself, to God, or whoever. Now you can choose to sit still, if that works for you, if you need that. Or you can lean forward, move your body gently from side to side as you listen in just for a few moments. So why Jesus? Some people believe that Jesus did not even live, that it's just a fairy tale or stories from old times. But I think most scholars today, also because there's more historians that actually wrote about a guy called Jesus who made some sort of revolution kind of situation back in that time. So most scholars today would believe that there was a guy named Jesus that walked the earth around that time. So I'm not going to go too much into that. But the big question is, of course, then who is Jesus? A lot of people see Jesus as this, in a yoga setting, guru, maybe, or an old master, a wisdom master, a sage. And of course, Jesus spoke a lot of wisdom. I mean, I live in Denmark. We call ourselves a Christian country, whatever that means, right? But our values are somehow built on Christian values, like loving your neighbor, taking care of the poor, all of these, turn the other cheek to the person that is hitting you, and all these great things have formed our culture, is somehow living inside us. And that is awesome, and I'm grateful for that. We should not take all that wisdom that is within our, if you live in a country with a Christian culture, take that for granted. But then there's a question of if Jesus was more than a guru or a wise man. Was he a savior or was he God? Now that, of course, requires faith in another way. And I'm one of those people that believe that Jesus was more than just human. And I think it's because I have certain experiences with prayer and with community and fellowship where I have had some certain wonderful experiences with that. And I believe in God and in Jesus because it gives life meaning. It gives my life a purpose. And I think that's why. It makes to me, it makes so much sense. And I'm going to explain to you why I believe it makes sense a little bit more later on. But first, let's move a little bit and then we'll pause and I'll explain a little bit more. So you can find your downward facing dog. Lifting your hip up and start moving your legs. Soften your elbows, maybe more than you normally would do. You can draw your feet to your toes out to one side. Let your hands, your shoulders stay in a traditional down dog, but with the feet to the side, kind of a side stretch. And then, of course, what we do on one side, we do on the other as well. So toes to the other side. And you can engage your ujjayi breath, that snoring, waving, exhaling sound. So maybe you find that rhythm. Now walk your feet to the top end of the mat and fold forward and give your wrist a shake as you do, or circles or whatever. And then lift up into high mountain with your arms over your head, reaching up like you're reaching for an apple or whatever you reach up there. One side, the other, small side stretches. And then soften into your forward fold. And now you might want to grab your block, maybe on the second height, and take the block where your left foot is standing, because you're going to move your left foot back. So we have a twist here. Left hand on the block, and then right arm up. Now you can shorten the distance, bend your knees as much as you like. We're going to try to draw a circle with our arms. So you draw the hands down towards the back foot. You can even take a look at it and maybe extend the front leg a little bit. It doesn't have to be all the way. Drawing the hands down towards the mat to the front, and then you bend your knees. You might even drop the knee for once. More over the ankle than you usually would do. Draw the hand up and back. And maybe following your breath here. Inhale as you reach forward. Exhale, reach up and back. So don't worry too much about doing this right. Just move, whatever feels good. One last big circle. Put the block to the side, step back, downward facing dog. Stay here and shake it out. And then let's do the first Vinyasa. Inhale to plank. On toes or knees, shoulders above your fingers, lower down, exhale. Inhaling cobra, tucking the shoulder blades back and down. Exhaling, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhaling to plank, navel in. Shift to the top of the toes, lower down, exhale. Inhaling cobra or up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Lifting your right leg and move the right leg. Lift the left leg and move the left leg to the front. Right hand on the block. We're gonna do the twist. Gonna do the twist again. But first, reaching up, finding that stretch maybe in the hip flexors there. Move the hand back and down, maybe extending the front leg, noticing that you're not moving your hip out to the side, your hip stays aligned with the feet. Hand down to the front, bending in the front leg. And then your breath, exhale up and back. Inhale to the front. And if you feel dizzy by doing this, just don't look for the hand, just look on the floor, whatever makes sense. Last big circle. Hands down, block to the side. Step back, down dog. Vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhaling, lower down. Elbows by your ribs. Come down slowly. Cobra or up dog. Inhaling. Exhaling, down dog. Moving into a sequence. Right leg lifts up and step it to the front. Lower down the left knee. Reach your arms up in a low lunge and go for a back bend. Open up your chest, moving the hip to the front. Then move your hip slightly back, straightening your spine, palms together in prayer pose. And go for a twist. So your left elbow reach either the inside of your right thigh or the outer edge of the thigh there, twisting. Tucking the back foot under. See if you can come up to lunge position with the knee lifted. Gaze on the floor, unwind your twist. Reach the left leg up and back. And find warrior 3. Reaching your hands to the front. Or find the block in front of you. Lower down the foot again, slowly. Open up your chest, warrior 2. Back foot align it with the short end of the mat. Wide distance, if that's you today. Reaching your arms out. Keep the Ujjayi breath going. Now you might want to grab the block and move it here to the front of the right foot. We're going to do half moon, and let's do it with the block because it just does something differently. So take the back foot a little bit closer. I'm going to go into the advanced version of this one. So lift all of left side, all of once. Toes pointing to the side. Lifting left leg as high as possible. Stacking hips, stacking shoulders. One more breath. letting go. Lower this foot down. Again, warrior two. See if you can find your balance. And then reverse your warrior, so lean back, still bending the front leg. And windmill your arms around. Back heel off, plank to low plank. Your vinyasa. Up with your chest, down with your head, down dog. And maybe side out. A few breaths here in down dog before we repeat the sequence on the other side. I just want to mention all this I'm saying about Jesus. I think it requires some thought and some process. So I don't think there's any quick solutions here. It's all a journey, it's all a path, revealing more of what is the true self, what is the true nature of ourselves and our universe. Lifting left leg up and stepping it to the top end of the mat. Lower down right knee, low lunge with a back bend. Throw the arms up and back, thumbs moving behind you. Prayer pose in front of your chest. Again, I lift up my spine a little bit. Going for a twist. Reaching out, making sure that I have space in front of my chest. Tucking the toes under and lifting slowly right knee off the mat. On twist, look to the front. I'm going to take the back foot a little bit closer to the front and arms to the front, leaning forward, warrior three. Right leg up and back. Thumbs pointing to the ceiling. Lowering down, right leg, open up the hip. Warrior two. And you might say, yes, warrior three is an intense posture, at least in my universe. Really settling down here with the feet on the mat. And then again, we might take this block in front of the left leg. Gonna move the right just a tiny bit closer so it's easier to kind of waver off and lift all off right side this time. If you don't want to do it all at once, start with your fingers on the floor, lift up right leg, and then maybe right arm. Slowly come down. Again, warrior two for a brief moment, because we're going to reverse the warrior. Lean back. Stretching the side body, left side body. Windmill the arms around, plank, low plank. Cobra or up dog. And then maybe child's pose. Or if not child's pose, you're going to stay in down dog for a moment, a minute or so. Because I'm just going to share a story with you. That's one of the reasons why I see Jesus as more than just a regular dude, wise dude. There's a story from Mathew 7. Oh, Matthew 8, actually. Chapter 8. When Jesus came down from the mountainside, large crowds followed him. So, just to say, he had something. People followed him. A man with leprosy. It's a skin disease, very infectious skin disease. Came and kneeled before him and said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Now, leprosy, as I said, was an infectious disease that if you were touched by a person with leprosy, you would probably get it. And it's like a nerve disease, actually. Your kind of limbs would eventually get diseased and fall off, actually. So nobody would touch somebody with leprosy. They were sent out of the town, lived with other people with leprosy, and was kind of doomed to die just out there. So like we might remember in COVID situations, we all kept our distance. All kept our distance from other people because we didn't want to get infected, right? The same situation here. But it was for years. So the man comes to Jesus saying these things, and just by itself, the man actually comes is a big deal. And then it says, Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. Immediately he was cleansed of his leprosy. So Jesus reaches out to the untouchable and touch and heals. Maybe a picture of the crowd, just kind of this going through the crowd as Jesus reaches out, and they think, oh, he's gonna be sick now. And maybe just have that image in your mind as you reach your hand forward. Slowly move into tabletop. Move your spine around. I'll do a last sequence and then I'll just elaborate a little bit of why this story is important to me. Right hand at the top end of the mat. Lift the knees off, down dog. And do a little bit of core work now. Reach your right leg up, bending the knee, open up your hip. And then you draw the knee underneath your belly and take the right knee to the left elbow. Draw the knee up and back again. Open up your hip as we did before. Again, closing the hip, let the knee stay bended. This time you draw the knee outside on the ribs here, coming into plank, reaching the right leg to the right elbow. Again, back, up, open up the hip. And then draw the knee. This time, you kind of squeeze it out to your left side, coming into, I think it's called fallen star, lifting up left hand. And you can always find easier versions on knees and elbows. And maybe this hand in front of you reaches over, thumbs pointing down. Align the arm with your ears. Coming back, hands on the mat, lifting the right leg up. No need to open the hip, just move the leg back. And then foot to the front of the mat. High lunge. Arms up towards the sky. Shoulders down. And then you can let your palms reach each other and lean forward, like you're shooting an arrow out of your arms to the front. Take your hands on the inside of the thigh and the knee. Kind of shoot the back foot without squeezing your shoulder blades together. Too much, at least. And then let your fingers find the floor. Take the back leg there. reach it up forward, and maybe you grab the block, hold on to it as you come into a forward fold. Maybe you don't use the block. Forward fold with a hip opener. So lift up, left leg as high as possible. Let it go. Step back, down dog. Spreading out with fingers, knuckles on the mat, tip of the finger reaching down. Engage the arms, shoulder blades as you reach up. Left leg, bend the knee, going over the sequence again. Closing the hip, taking left leg to right elbow. Again, moving the leg up, opening up the hip. Drawing the knee out to the side, plank, left elbow, left knee. Again, up and back, open up the hip, lifting the knee up towards the sky. Fallen star, knee underneath you, move it out to the side. This is where you can come down on your knee if this is too much. And you can maybe centralize the left hand, move out on the outer edge of the back foot. And draw the hand over your head, thumbs pointing down. Maybe shaking. Releasing, stepping back, left leg up, no need to bend the knee. And reach forward with the foot. High lunge. Catching your breath here, maybe. Palms together, core involved as you lean forward. Drawing the hands down the inside of the thigh, shooting to the back of the foot. Fingers on the floor or on the block. Lift up, right leg forward fold, forehead towards the knee. Keep it lifted, this right leg. And then let the feet meet each other here at the top of the mat. Hang forward, shake from side to side. And then sit down on the floor. And maybe hugging in the knees really tightly, like a little child. Not a scared child, but a safe child, hugging in whatever's valuable now, our legs. All right, let go. Sole of the feet down or together, and knees out and down. Sitting bones on the mat. You might want to sit on the block if that's helpful. Just a few stretches and then we're done. So this story to me speaks a lot. I just love this image in my head that Jesus is reaching out. Maybe the healing part in this is, of course, the man being physically healed, and if you believe the story, but just that he is touched, met where he is. And I think that is what I feel like Jesus is doing in my life when I pray, that I feel like Jesus is reaching out, saying that I'm not alone. Whatever kind of struggles I might have, Jesus is there to help me carry it. And Jesus is here not only to heal physical illnesses, but also mental distress. As our minds tend to worry. Sit up tall, reach out right leg, and take the left leg, hug it in as close as you can, let the foot come down. I'm gonna do a seated twist. So your left leg is in, and then you take your right elbow and hug it in here, twisting around the bended knee, or for a deeper twist, elbow on the outside of the knee. Letting go. Opposite side. And you might not be able to sit as close as I do with my knee in here. Just do whatever feels good in your body. Holding the knee, or reach out kind of with the hand here, not leaning back, but sitting up as tall as you possibly can. And let go. Come down on the mat, laying down. You can do your windshield legs for a bit. No need to continue with your Ujjayi breath. You can just breathe deeply. And let's finish with happy baby. So always option of hugging in the knees if this is not a nice posture for you. You want to bend your knees 90 degrees. Take the knees apart, toes or feet pointing up towards the sky like this, so that you kind of walk on the sky. I take the elbows on the inside of my knee joint, and then I try to reach the outer edge of the foot. This allows me to pull my feet down without bending the knees as I do now, keeping the knees 90 degrees, and with my elbows pulling the legs further apart. And let go. And you can find a little bit of a rest. We'll just stay here for a minute or so. But maybe you return to the image of Jesus, whatever he looks like in your imagination, right? We don't know really. Reaching out to this sick man. And if you feel like, yeah, I wanna know Jesus as more than just this wisdom guy, this guru person. I want to know what Ria is talking about when she's saying she's having a relationship. Maybe you picture Jesus reaching out and touching your hand or your heart, whatever you feel makes sense. Looking at you. Speaking to you. I will be healed. Receive my love. And as always, you are more than welcome to stay on the mat, resting, maybe staying this image. And I will do a few more videos on this why Jesus, just to share my experience with this topic, and you might find it interesting. You might, I don't know, learn something or not. If you're ready, you can move your hands and everything, open up your eyes, still resting. And then find a seat. And I pray that God will bless you and keep you safe. From my heart to yours, God's peace. And thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure that you take a look at my Instagram. CrossYoga with Ria is my Instagram profile. There I share a lot of what I do in my day. And also, if I have retreats, I have a retreat in Spain this fall 2022. You might be interested, and other cool stuff going, and also my newsletter. Always welcome. And also share these videos. That would mean a great deal to the world and to me, obviously, as well. See you around.